Alright guys, we're back. Stream was just super lagging and I guess now we have excellent conditions again. I guess that's what happens when you start talking about our current monetary policy. They lag us out or something like that. I don't know. So somebody asked, should you get stocks? Should you get Bitcoin? Stocks have always seemed to have a really high appraised value. And I've looked into stocks a lot, and I've done stocks a lot, and we've had a lot of success. There's actually a YouTube video of me talking about gold, or not gold, oil being a huge industry to look into, and I actually made the video was a while back, but I had 100% ROI on USO, and like you literally just go back on YouTube and look at me talk about USO, and I made 100% ROI on USO. I made 100% ROI on like all these different stocks back on the day, and I 4x my money on that V-shaped recovery. So I'm very familiar with stocks. I'm very familiar with crypto. I'm very familiar with real estate. There's pros and cons to all of it, and really what you're looking at is pros and cons to, um, essentially the two asset classes that we're going to be focusing on is crypto and stocks. And let me make sure the connection's still good. And really, what you have to understand is like at the end of the day, I mean, really, when you get a stock, okay, good. We have excellent conditions. Really, when you get a stock, you're just getting a piece of paper. So you have to really evaluate what that piece of paper is worth. Like you're basically just getting a note that says you own partial shares to the company, but that note's only it's kind of like a Ponzi scheme. And it's not until you put up 100 million or whatever into freaking stocks or whatever, and you're like, oh crap, like what did I just do? I just traded all my money for some pieces of paper. Like at least in real estate, like there's like actual value there. Like you can rent out the houses, you can live in the houses. You can't live in your stock investment. Stocks are, like I said again, a Ponzi scheme, like in the sense that somebody else has to buy that stock, at that price for it to be justified, and you're essentially hoping that somebody is, going to come around and take that off your hands. And I'm not saying that, necessarily people won't, but, as the economy gets worse and people can't afford stocks, you got to think about that. Everybody's getting crypto rich right now, and a lot of people want to hold. In the stock market, a lot of people just lost money in the stock market. Crypto's positioned to do incredibly well and continue to have growth. And you got to think about who invests in stocks. Well, mostly the middle class invest in stocks. Who invested in crypto? Usually the people like the younger generations, the millennials, the working class. A lot of the older people that are investing in stocks, they're retiring. Like these are things you have to think about. And when people talk to me about why I got into Bitcoin, listen, I was top of my class when I dropped out of going to school to be a pharmacist, and I'm about to make more money this year doing my crypto stuff than I would have, graduating top of my class as a pharmacist. I dropped out with a 3.6 GPA. And when people think like I just like magically jumped into crypto, well, no, I did my research. I really did my homework, and like it was an absolute no-brainer. Just with everything that's going on right now, like I might make only 200,000 this year. Next year, I'll probably make 500,000. And so when you're looking at like cryptocurrency, yeah, you have the millennials, but then also who else do you have? You have people like the technocrats or like a lot of these guys. Where's most of the money being made right now in our economy? Google's not going anywhere. AI is not going anywhere. All these people in Silicon Valley, do you think they know about crypto? Yeah, they know about crypto. They're investing in crypto. At the end of the day, are they going to lose their jobs? No, they're not going to lose their jobs. A lot of people are going to lose their jobs. A lot of businesses are going to go under. A lot of people aren't going to be able to pay their bills. But technology, is the computer going away or is the internet going away? It's far from it. That's part of the biggest agendas being pushed right now is EV cars, self-driving cars, AI technology. developing, different software programs and stuff like that. That's the most, that's where a lot of the money is going. And these guys are very well compensated. And you just got to think who's investing into stocks, which is the middle class, and they're gonna, you know, and then who's investing into crypto? The working class, these younger millennials and these guys that are into tech, and eventually a lot of people are gonna FOMO in. This is like let's see. So right here you have resistance, resistance, potentially flip support. We're still looking at that idea, but essentially you have flip support. So it's a major line potentially. But so when you ask me like, should you invest in Bitcoin? Should you invest in stocks? Depends on how old you are. It depends on how conservative you are. If you're younger, if you're below the age of 30 to 40 years old, if you're below like the age of 40, you got a good runway to hold on to the Bitcoin. And since it's and since it's the software is designed to be anti-inflationary, and since we've already proven in this extremely short life of Bitcoin that it can go up to 40,000, inevitably it's going to go higher. It's built into the code itself. People are going to lose their Bitcoin. It's going to go down. There's probably only going to be 15, 16 million, that's really getting traded. A lot of people are just going to sit on it for possibly, like, just all the fundamentals of Bitcoin drive the price up higher. The second that somebody sells Bitcoin, essentially they're weak hands and they're just moving into statistically, eventually stronger hands. Like the people that sold in 2013, they had weak hands. The people that kept in 2013, they have strong hands. They're going to continue to hold. There's a lot of really in-depth fundamentals. But when you just look at the investors and like the kind of Ponzi scheme essentially that you're looking at with Bitcoin or with stocks, because essentially you're just getting a piece of paper, and whether people want to invest in stocks or not, again, the economy is not looking so hot. Unemployment, all that stuff. Eventually, people are about to get off unemployment, and they're about to default on their mortgages, and a lot of people are going to be getting into real estate most likely when people default on their mortgages, and it frees up a lot of supply. So there's like a lot of things to think about in finance, but the main thing you want to think about is who's buying and who's selling these stocks, and who's buying and who's selling this crypto. And a lot of the older generation is starting to look into buying crypto, and that ETF is going to give them a lot of opportunity and a lot of courage to step into this market and drive up the evaluation. There's a lot of promising data on crypto from every single potential side whatsoever. No matter how you look at this space, it's going to go up. And with stocks, like, yeah, it could go up, but at the end of the day, it's a piece of paper and it's a Ponzi scheme, and, there's no real intrinsic value behind, trading I mean, your paper's not worthless. We just went over that, but it's not, you know, so, trading it for stocks, I mean, you can go spend $100,000 on stocks and you just have a freaking, you own a little portion and ever so slightly portion of the company. Okay, what can you do with that? With crypto, you're actually owning a finite asset, which they can't print more of. Actually, they can print more stocks, and when I actually got into stocks, uh, I got into stocks when I was in high school. Got into Amazon. Amazon was super underrated. It was trading for like $1,000 a share when I got in, and then sold the top at two. Um, and I called that, and that was probably one of the best stock calls, probably just period for that time. And then I called Apple too, but I wasn't gonna invest in Apple. I'm a Samsung guy. Apple is like they slow down their phones. Like I can't get behind them. They make the same dang phone every single day. Like every single year they make the same dang phone. Like I just don't want to be involved with Apple. But I knew its potential. And so like I've been in stocks, I've called stocks, like, I know how to read balance sheets, and go over, intrinsic value for all those and blah blah blah. And my stock career is top notch. I've literally out invest Warren Buffett, and I have my M1 account to freaking show it. Like I got into like Bank of America before he got into Bank of America. I sold better than he sold for that. I got into Delta before he got into Delta. I sold better. Like, like because like when you buy more than 10% of a company, you have to disclose like your shares, and like it's public information. And I literally got into all the stocks he got into before he got into them when they were cheaper, and then sold at a better price for all of them. But hopefully that answers your question. Like, so I'm not saying from like an ignorant point of view as far as, should you get into stocks or Bitcoin. I'm just saying Bitcoin seems like a no-brainer opportunity, especially at these levels. Yeah, if it would have kept going at 40K, um, ask me questions. But our stream disconnected, so I was just answering a question. They said, should you get into stocks or should you get into Bitcoin? The complete answer to that is really, I mean, what I'm doing is I'm not selling a penny of my crypto. I've been hodling since freaking 3K. Um, I'm not selling a penny until it hits at least 70,000, around 70,000 area. I'll sell like 5% of my portfolio then. And I'll look into stocks. I'll look into something like, oh, this is good. This is good. Let me see what we got going on right here. I'll look at like Google. Google's got like, people don't realize right now, like with this current administration and like the technocrats, people don't realize how big of a deal AI technology is. Like how big, of a deal AI technology is. Like that is a top agenda for some of the wealthiest people on the planet. Like AI is huge. That's what Google's working on. Google's working on self-driving cars. That's absolutely huge. I mean, just think companies like Microsoft. What's Microsoft? Microsoft's a B2B, business to business business model. And their customers are other businesses, and as other businesses go out of business, they don't do so well. And so uh, Google Google's, the internet. Google's a search engine. Google's working on the most ambitious projects with the highest ROI and the most demand and the highest barrier to entry. I mean, I know I just said a lot of words right there, but essentially what I mean when I say all that is, we're headed towards a depression, with all these companies going out of business. With all these, like, the government has to just dump money into the economy to stop it from collapsing, and it looks like that's probably what they're going to end up doing. But Google's like the safe haven. The entire economy depresses in on itself, which is a depression, and the internet's not going away. You think the internet's going away? I mean, they might shut it down for a second so that they can push their agenda to put more renewable energy, and I think that's, what they got going on with Iran. And if you saw that power outage, that might be a test, kind of like with COVID-19. They did the test, Event 201, with the John Hopkins University. I mean, that might be a little bit above what you guys know, but Google's not going anywhere. Even if the entire economy collapses, Google's not going anywhere. And even if the entire economy doesn't collapse, Google's working on some of the biggest, most ambitious projects. And so getting a good value on something like Google, that's a pretty nice asset to hold till retirement, or at least for the next 5 to 10 years. But I'm a crypto guy, and like I do want to get Google, and I did have some Google stock. But I had to sell it because my ROI was going to be higher on crypto. And, that was around, I think when I sold Google, it was probably around, I don't remember what the price of Google was, but Bitcoin was like 7,000. And now Bitcoin's 33,000 right now at the time of recording this. So did I make a good decision selling my stock and buying crypto? I think so. Google didn't go up 300%, over 300%. You know what I'm saying? So like, it really just comes down to like if you understand crypto and the fundamentals of crypto on whether you should invest in crypto or whether you should invest in another asset class. Crypto's outperformed every other asset class. but that's my opinion on stocks. And that's coming from somebody that used to be very involved and very successful with stocks. Ask me questions, but that question was, what would you recommend, stocks or crypto? You know, when I read the book Intelligent Investor, what they used to say, that's the guy, Benjamin Graham. He taught Warren Buffett. He's the guy that wrote that book. And I read his other books, and they're all right. They're kind of difficult to understand. He was coming from a different time period, you know, in the early 1900s. But essentially, what he said is, you know, put 10% of your money in bonds and put 10% of your and put 90% of your money in stocks, or at least put 90% of your money in bonds and 10% of your money in stocks, just depending on the market. Now, bonds are one of the worst investments you could ever make right now. The bond market is on the brink of collapse, which is going to cause massive financial implications. Like, that could just be massive if essentially the government can't start loaning out money. And like, this is just like, people think that, like, oh, I understand economics, the money printing. Well, they don't even really print money to begin with. But yeah, they do, relatively speaking, kind of create money out of thin air. They really put it on their balance sheet as an asset and a liability and purchase, those IOUs. So technically, they don't even print money. But yeah. So anyways, the bond market is not a good. But my point is this. You know, you want a balanced portfolio. That's the person that started that was freaking Warren Buffett. And like I said, I've already out invested Warren Buffett multiple times. I think in the last what was it? I made 400% in the recent stock market crash, so 4x, and then I think I made 650% taking my stock money and putting it into crypto, so that's another, what is that, 12.5, and then 500% in real estate, so what is that, 4, 6, that's 10, 15, is that it? Like 15, 50. I've made like 15,500, something like that. So something like 15,000, like 50 or something percentage. Like in the stock market, that would take like multiple lifetimes to make. Okay, I leveraged real estate, leveraged freaking my college money went into real estate. So leveraged real estate, um, leveraged real estate, leveraged crypto. You guys know I trade crypto. And then I just bought stocks. You can day trade stocks, you can do that, have fun. I made a lot of money on options, but I'm not doing options anymore just because it's not worth the headache. I was making stupid money. I remember like I'd wake up and I would just make like freaking like $600, like just waking up. Like I would go to sleep looking at options, like figuring out everything out, and then I'd wake up and make like 600 bucks. Now I had a buddy that got into options, but he didn't know that you had to like do research and stuff, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I think this stock's gonna go up," and he lost everything. Or he would lose like freaking like 92% of his position. So I don't recommend options. And for me, I was good at it. It wasn't worth the headache. It was stressful. Ask me questions if you have questions. I'm more so looking at cryptocurrency. There's just nothing going on. Like I told you guys earlier, we were consolidating. Guess what? We consolidated. I told you guys we were gonna dip, consolidate. Guess what? We dipped, we consolidate. I told you guys we were gonna dip, consolidate, come back up, consolidate, and potentially move higher. Guess what? That's exactly what happened. I don't want to sound cocky because I'm not cocky. I'm just telling you how it is. I've called everything from the stock market crashes to the real estate booms to asset inflation to, I mean, a little bit of it's on my YouTube channel, but I have all the videos, I have all the brokerage account trades, it all documented. I've never seen anybody make, 1,500%. Like, I was going to college, top of my class, while I was doing most of that. I had to drop out because I was making too much money. I was like, there's no point in this. Like, why go to school, get on a salary, and get wrecked from inflation? I had to drop out. I don't recommend people dropping out. I think dropping out's pretty stupid. Like, if you don't know what you're doing. I had a 3.6 dropping out. I had to drop out. I was just too smart for college. And I had a 3.6. I was working full time while I was putting money into the stock market and Forex in it. I was making more off stocks than I was working my job. I mean, I would make 100% ROIs. Like, I would freaking. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, we did good. Let's see. This is saying trend reversal right here. On the 30-minute, remember, 30-minute time frame doesn't take as much precedence as higher time frames. So, essentially to me, this just says, we went down. This is saying short, this is essentially, we were seeing some decent, we have this green candlestick right here, essentially, or this green dot right here. Essentially, we're just consolidating, like, this really, and then, like, so right here, this is basically showing a trend reversal. There's different ways of interpreting this, but I mean, this seems to be, you have a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, high, higher high, higher high, higher high. That seems like an uptrend to me. So, if this is a trend reversal bearish, but then this is saying essentially bullish, I mean, it just seems to be consolidation, and then you have a little bit of a trend right here. Volumes, there's not a lot to comment on volume because, essentially you have it uptrending right here, but then, you have this fall off right here where it just falls off a cliff. We still haven't printed this candle yet, so maybe we could go 15 and see if we can get a better idea of what the trend is on the volume. But to negate that idea that we're consolidating, we would need to see some good numbers on volume and a healthy trend. Yeah, we're just not really seeing it. And then look at, that's what I'm saying, oh, long it, and then this is saying, oh, but we're going into a bear trend. But yeah, I mean, no shade on Market Cipher. This is industry standard, the best it gets. But on the 15 time minute frame, take it with a grain of salt. Ask me questions. Let me know if you have any questions about altcoins, cryptocurrency. I can't wait for altcoin season to be over so I can tell everybody, hey, if you're gonna get into altcoins, like, because the biggest mistake people make is they need to get like 50 freaking altcoins. Just get freaking Bitcoin and like if you want to get into an altcoin right now and you're newer to space, just get Ethereum. They're gonna outperform everything anyways. And then once Ethereum does killer, then look into some altcoins. Like some mid caps, some larger caps. But Ethereum is really going to be where it's at with those gains. I'm telling you guys, it's about to go parabolic. Especially if we break into a higher consolidation pattern. Essentially, the ideas on more of the macro time frames that I'm looking at is essentially we could have, let me zoom this like this. Essentially what we could have is we could start to develop into a bigger consolidation pattern, start consolidating, and then essentially we could have a massive altcoin season potentially. And if that happens, that would give Ethereum a lot of room to run and go parabolic. So, I mean, it's all just ideas right now, but the fundamentals behind Ethereum are strong. It's not if Ethereum's gonna run, it's when Ethereum's gonna run. And right now, the only problem is just Ethereum kind of got behind Bitcoin, even though they're correlated. Like Ethereum to be at the same level that Bitcoin is at, which it should be, it needs to double in price, at least. And a lot of people are saying that, let's look at BTC to ETH. Nah, unless somebody comments, I won't do that. Alright, hit me up with a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see. Right now, we're just consolidating. There's not a lot going on right now. I was gonna hop off actually, but I got some questions, so I was like, yeah, I'll answer some questions real quick before I go. Like, I'll always answer questions. Like, I love answering questions. Potentially, we could get this would be a double top idea. Let me see, or double bottom idea. I mean, yeah, potentially. So right here, you see this, and you know this might be um throwing you off a little bit, but potentially some people, if you're newer to crypto, they call it, and more in crypto, they call it this than anything. I think I was reading some textbooks and they also called it a W formation, but it's mostly called a W, or it's mostly called the double bottom, but you might have heard it being called a W. So essentially, we have this bottom right here. Come up, look right here, and then essentially a potential double bottom. You see this right here? This would be the first bottom. We have this right here. This happens all the time. This is like the fractal of fractals. And then potentially we would cup this right here, which we're doing. And essentially all the price action has to do is move higher, break this neckline, break this consolidation pattern. And we're off to the races with this essentially double bottom. And the measured move for that would break this consolidation pattern and put us up higher. And if we break that consolidation pattern, then this could potentially be a busted symmetrical triangle, and that could still play out the bullish scenario of like 51,000. So, I mean, this is just an idea. We have yet to confirm this idea. Bitcoin's price is just consolidating. We need it to move before we can really start talking about like where it's going. So I'm going to delete that just because it's an idea. Everything else on the charts is facts. So I'm just going to delete this idea. I just want to give you guys an idea. But then I also don't want to leave you guys stranded in the streets assuming stuff. So, I mean, right here we have a potentially, I mean, it doesn't really look like it anymore. Really, the idea that it looks like is, we had this right here. We had it come down, and essentially we saw this as support, come down. Potentially this would be another support line, especially if you're trading Forex. I read a lot of books in technical analysis. I went through a lot of courses. Like, I didn't just trade 350, what is it, like 350, 360,000 freaking like just off the dome, like self-taught. No, I really got an education. So potentially these two areas could be also support right here, like especially if you're trading Forex, like potentially if the support was to give. But essentially the idea that we're looking at before we get into this is essentially you come up, you have resistance right here. Bitcoin's price goes up, it gets rejected right here. Comes down, finds support right here. We know that. And then potentially we find support at this level right here. We found support at this level as it came down. Come down, support, support, and then essentially we break that potential resistance because this was support and this was, we broke this as support, and then I guess we broke this as resistance, and then we come down again, and we break this as, or we find this as support. Sorry, I'm a little tired, but hopefully that makes sense. It should make sense. This is textbook, and essentially what we're looking at right now is this is basically a, a bullish test of support, and basically we hold support right here. This is a bullish move, and essentially we bounce up, and right now we're testing these trend lines right here, essentially. Is this gonna let me delete it? There we go. Nope. If you guys don't have any questions, I'm just gonna head out for tonight just because it's consolidating. There's not a lot to really go over. We'll see what happens. Like, I'm sure there's channels that are like, oh, the dip's over, like, you know, and like I used to murk people, like, I used to call people out a lot, but I really like the crypto community a lot. There's a lot of really great guys in the crypto community, and I've talked about that a lot on the channel. And so I'm not murking anybody when I, like, in like real estate, like, I used to murk people. Like, I used to make people cry. Like, they were in real estate and they thought they knew stuff about real estate and they just made us look bad. Like, in real estate, there's a lot of different types of people in real estate, but a lot of it is just D-bags trying to make money that have no clue what they're doing. And they think real estate is some easy ticket to earn some quick cash. And you gotta know what you're doing or you're just gonna get wrecked. And a lot of these guys have no clue. I spent years working on real estate. So, but not as like a realtor, as like an investor. Um, but I like the crypto guys. But a lot of people are probably saying, "Oh, this is the bottom," and well, we don't know that. We're looking at this area. It could be the bottom potentially. We're testing the bottom of this consolidation pattern right here. And we could get a bearish retest and definitely head lower. So to say it's the bottom, it's not confirmed. All right, what's this? The 15-minute. This is looking good on these waves right here. You got this. Yeah, Market Cipher even draws it out right here. So yeah, this is bullish. I mean, that's on the 15, and then this idea essentially played out right here, and we got that bullish momentum. That was on the 15. Hop over to the 30. Essentially, we're pulling out Market Cipher. I usually go into more tech, but we already have the tech outlined, and essentially the technical analysis is showing us that we're consolidating. And so what I'm doing is I'm just using Market Cipher to try and find bottoms. Oh, this is really good. Oh, this is really good. Dang. Okay. I mean, check this out right here. Bottom. Okay. Bottom. That's a low. And then this is a higher low. This is really bullish. Dang, that's looking really good. So essentially you have an anchor wave and a trigger wave, and these are oscillators. So you can measure them as such. And basically that idea should start play out right here. What's this, the 30-minute? That idea seems to be a little negated by volume, and money flow on the volume indicator, so we'll look at that in a second. This is not looking bad. Yeah, so like really the thing that we're looking for, like it's not looking bad on the shorter time frames, but what I'm looking for is you see this sharp. This is where I basically just have to call it a night and say that it's consolidating. You see this sharp money wave right here, this momentum money wave. You see how it's down? Like that's not good. This is on the 1 hour. People normally trade on the 4 hours, so like you want to talk to me like, oh, we're going up, we're bouncing. I mean, we could like, but according to Market Cipher and according to the technical analysis, like there's nothing to say. We're consolidating right now, and we're not gonna hit these levels for a minute. according to Marcus Cipher and according to the TA and according to the volume chart. I mean, look at this volume. We just fell off a cliff right here with this volume. Look how small that bar is. Can you see that? Essentially, we had some decent volume, but this is like a fractal. It's like, okay, yeah, we have some decent volume right here coming in, and then we go lower. And it's like, oh, well, we have some decent volume relative to maybe like this, and then it goes lower. And then we essentially have this fractal idea. Oh, it's looking like it's good. Oh, it's looking like it's good. Oh, it's looking like it's good, but it keeps moving down lower. And so we have to come up with this fractal idea on the volume charts until we're directed otherwise. I don't know what this is. Doesn't really matter. Ask me questions before I go. I'm about to leave the stream just because we're consolidating, and Market Cipher is saying basically we're consolidating. Market Cipher is basically saying, like, look, we need this to go up. Like, yeah, the conditions are looking a lot better than they have in the past, but we need this to go up before any substantial moves one way or the other happen. This technical analysis, this volume indicator is saying the same thing, and we can just see through the charts. Like, this is essentially, is that putting in a doji? No, it's not a doji. But basically, I mean, technically that's like a bearish hammer or a hangman or whatever. I mean, who cares? It's pretty indecisive to me. Alright, no questions. Alright, I'm going to end the stream tonight. We're consolidating. Again, these are the major levels that we looked at. I'm calling the TA, and the reason I'm calling all this TA 100% accurate, you know, the reason our channel is doing so well and blah blah blah, because we're going through the TA, we're being patient, you know, we're not just guesstimating, we're not just saying, oh yeah, it'll probably go back up. Well, I don't have the credentials to say that. Maybe BitBoy does, but I don't. Like, you guys don't, you didn't watch me trade 300K, you know, on Snapchat, most likely, if you're newer to the channel. I'm newer to freaking YouTube, so I'm just telling you the tech. We're looking at this consolidation. We're looking at consolidation here. Let me draw this for you so you guys get the picture. I'm giving you all this for free because I've made money. I've made a lot of money. I've made plenty of money. I actually joined the Marine Corps. I'm probably going to go Special Forces. I made plenty of money, and that's just what I want to do with my life. Freaking, I go to boot camp in like 2 months. I'm just going to put my Bitcoin holdings on the side. Okay, so we have this resistance. We have this as support, essentially, and basically want the price action to go like this. But I've made plenty of money, so I don't really care. I'm not going to sell you a freaking course. I'm not going to do anything like that. I freaking hate those guys. They can suck it. You know, if they're actually making money, if they're actually doing what they're saying they're doing, then why do they need to sell you a course? So, I'm giving you all this for free. This is like the best information on the internet. As far as I know, I'm the most successful freaking kid in my state. Like, as far as age grows, I made 250,000. 250,000. How long did that take me? Like 3 years in real estate. Let's see, what else did I do? Freaking, and that was when I was going to school to be a doctor. I had 3.6. Jeez. So I started up a few companies. They've done well, but like, most of my stuff is in like investing, and then I forex my money in stock market, and then I made 100. What was it? 650% as of recent in crypto. Just and these are, you know, in crypto. I'll just tell you guys right now, I have like over 30,000 in crypto. So I mean, it's not anything or everything, but to have most of my equity tied down into real estate, to have almost 250,000 tied down entirely into real estate, and then to, you know, tie down another 30K in crypto, and to have it perform like it's been performing. I'm 22, and you know, I had to drop out of freaking college because I was just freaking killing it. Jeez. So anyways, we called all the price action. We're 100% on this channel. We're profitable in a trade right now. We're killing it. I mean, I can't be any more spot on the TA. It's not possible because we've called everything. We've made all the biggest trades. You know, we made 3K on an Ethereum trade. I streamed it live. That was the other day. We just got into an Ethereum trade again. We're live, like we're profitable on that. I just have a freaking like small position right now. I took some off the table when it was uncertain, but at the end of the day, we're making money. We're profits. We're killing it. So you want to see somebody that's actually making money? You know, there'll be days where I wake up and I have so much money in this space, and most of the time, a lot of that money is leveraged. I'll wake up some days and make like 3, 4K. Um, and so I don't need, like, this is free information. I'm trying to help you guys out, like, for real. So sub to the channel if you want this info. Talk to me personally. Like I said, I don't know anybody else that's 22. Predicted to, like, you know, if everything goes good in the bull market, I'm supposed to make like another 250,000. So I'll be worth like $500,000 at like 23, and like this is all just self-made. So I don't need your money. I'm not gonna run a course. I'm not even gonna run ads on here, on YouTube. I don't care for it. But just ask me anything. Let me know. We're the most underrated channel on YouTube by freaking far. And like all these people are gonna freaking post Lamborghinis and all. I can go buy a Lamborghini. You go buy a Lamborghini tomorrow. I don't want a freaking Lamborghini. I'll show you my profits. I'll show you my portfolio. You know what I'm saying? So they can do all that, but on this channel we just show results. We just show freaking the TA. And right now we spot on 100% accuracy. 360,000 in profits. Not a single loss, not a single bad trade. Just how we gunning. But that comes with being conservative. That comes with freaking knowing your stuff. That comes with, you know, not saying, oh, well, the dip's over because we think it's over. Anyways, if you're new, welcome to the channel. Sub if you want to. Don't sub. Freaking, I'm paid. I'm freaking good. I'm not gonna ask you to buy my course. I'm not gonna ask you to freaking sub so that I freaking get like YouTube sponsor money. Watch me hit 100,000 subscribers and not take that sponsor money. That's not money to me. I'm good. I'm good. Just wait till investing is like the biggest thing because of all this asset inflation. YouTube money's not gonna be anything, and I knew that coming in. I just want to be on here, help people out. As crazy as that sounds, but I'm actually making money. And there's people that say that they're not actually making money. They're not actually in the game. So, it's whatever. Do whatever you want. I'm doing what I want right now. And that's trying to help you out. And go watch my videos. Freaking, I called everything. And let me see if I can pull up that video where I told everybody to invest their life savings in at 11,500. Let me see if I can pull up that video. But, let's see. But people say, well, what if you would have gotten into Bitcoin earlier? I mean, I did. But, 11,500 was just such a no-brainer. Alright, here it is.
You're going to see massive returns, and I'm going to feel good about myself.
Let's see. Here we go. I think this is a full video.
Better yourself. If you want to whatever, if you're trading crypto right now, whatever the deal is, I'm putting my mouth where my money is. So, you want to make that call? Don't leverage trade. Don't leverage trade. There's nobody on my story that knows how to leverage, that knows how to do technical analysis as well as I do. And $4,000 isn't a lot of money to me. So, don't leverage trade. I'm not telling you to go on Binance and make this trade. If you do, that's 100% your fault. Because you're not going to know when to sell, and your account's most likely going to get liquidated. What I'm telling you is that it's a good investment to buy into Bitcoin right now, and at 11.55, that could possibly be the best investment that you make in the next 10 years.
Alright, that's enough of that. Anyways, I said, I believe in karma. I want to help people out. Imagine you would have saw that video and put your life savings in at 11.55 and listened to me. You'd be up a lot of money. And yeah, you can buy in at 7,000. I bought in at 7,000, but like when I was saying like freaking sell the house and buy Bitcoin because the risk to reward ratio back then, it was unbelievable. It was common sense. And so you say, "Oh, well, how do you get into real estate?" Like freaking I was the top of my class medical student, and I knew the economy better than anybody else that I'd ever met. So, like, it was just common sense to me. But, so, anyways, yeah, I made a lot of money. I've called everything. It's freaking just dumb. Like, I can't say it any other way. I called real estate. I called stocks. I called crypto. And that's where we are. This is where the best money is. Sub to the channel if you want. We have 100% accurate TA and it's free. Bitcoin's consolidating. We called it. We called it back here. We called it everywhere. When Bitcoin goes up, I say it's going to go up. When Bitcoin goes down, I say it's going to go down. When Bitcoin, is consolidating, I say it's consolidating. So, anyways, we're consolidating right now. We need to see the volume pick up. Anybody can trade these freaking markets. Anybody can make the calls I've made. You just got to be educated. Let's see if we have any questions. Freaking ask me a question, man. Alright, I'm out of here.